Yo, what's up, y'all? Y'all already know what today is. So, like I said, today's Transformation Tuesday. We went live earlier on TikTok, but today this is from my other platform, so I gotta record this. So we're gonna shuffle. We're gonna do a new shuffle though. We're gonna see what the cards say. Cause TikTok, we live. We talked about doing shadow work. We talked about doing, just transforming all together. But I'm giving these cards a fresh shuffle. Ooh. They said pull my other deck for this reading. I was tired, yo. I'm sorry. It took me a while to get out here. I didn't feel like coming out here. I was tired. I create every moment. I radiate faith and repeat. Peace in my soul. Everything I lost comes back. Everything you lost comes back around. You gotta know that, though. You gotta know that. So today's Transformation Tuesday. Let's transform. We gotta transform our lives, right? We gotta do the work, though. So, prosperity begins. You gotta know that prosperity begins. That ain't sitting right with me. Hold on. Prosperity begins. Prosperity begins after you do the work, though, right? So we got the mirror. Choose wisely, right? So earlier came up the shadow card, and I want to talk about that. So what's not set right with is that prosperity begins only after we do the work. So earlier came with the shadow card. Okay, boom. This feels makes me feel a little bit better about life. Harmony, right? I gotta know that I'm in harmony with the universe, harmony with my higher power, harmony with life, right? I was feeling a little disconnected because I was tired. I didn't feel like coming out here, but Spirit said I had to come out here. Spirit said you gotta do what I said do, right? God said it's not about what, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta push through, you gotta do what you don't feel like doing. And when you do, I went to move the deck and look, hope. Faith is the substance of things, hope for the evidence of things not seen. So you gotta keep hope alive, keep faith alive, keep hope alive, and stay in harmony. So I'm in harmony with these words. But prosperity begins. Prosperity begins once we do that mirror work. That's why the mirror's out here. The mirror's out here to remind us to look in the reflection and do the work ourselves. So this excuse me. Give me a second. Sorry, I didn't even have an energy drink. So I wanted to give you guys some practical, I guess, tools, if you will. So again, I'm a certified Reiki practitioner. What I do is energy work. I do energy healing. So I tap in, I ask the universe for guidance. I tap in, talk to, channel the energy of Reiki. I'm a certified Reiki practitioner before I pull the cards so I can get a good reading and message for the day. I clear the energy before I do the reading. I clear the energy after I do every reading. So what I want to talk about some practical applications of what transformation really looks like, right? So you can't talk about it, you gotta be about it. Be all about it, sir. I was in the Marine Corps. So we gotta do our affirmations. So we do our affirmations, boom. We write it. We write it out. Damn. They told me to write it right here on camera, too. So I might have to do that. And I gotta do that. So we write my affirmations. I forgive you for that. I love you for that. I forgive you for that. I love you for that. I forgive you for that. I love you for that. Right? I gotta write the affirmations and I gotta speak them into existence. So prosperity begins once you do that, but prosperity begins with self. Self first. Nothing. Nothing. My head itches. Nothing begins without you taking a look at yourself, without looking at yourself in the mirror, doing that self-reflection, doing that self-realization. So choose wisely. What does choose wisely mean? That reflection. Like that. Choose wisely. Right? The green represents from the heart, your heart chakra. So choosing from the heart. What is your heart telling you to do? Are you in alignment with your heart, or are you operating out of a place from your old actions, patterns, and behaviors? Like, who do you choose to be? Who do you want to be? Are you in alignment and operating with integrity? Or are you, because I had to look in the mirror, I had to take a real solid look at myself and say, damn, are you operating from the place of integrity, or are you not? And I wasn't. Like, so just to be clear, I'm in the addiction. Yes, victory and success. So, so I got the music playing because it just really wants to reiterate, a positive message of reprogramming ourselves. So that's what I was talking about earlier, about reprogramming our mind, our body, our soul, and our spirit. Because as we grow up, we're programmed to be a certain way, right? So we have to go back. It's like a computer. You got to reprogram yourself, right? It's like plugging in. We plugged in. All these different things plugged into our socket. Our body was a surge protector, right? We got all these different outlets, and we got all these different things plugged into our outlets. We got to take the cords out and reprogram and replug different things in. And it's like if you take the cord out and you don't reprogram and put something new in, the old pattern of behaviors are going to continue to show up. So I feel like that's what the choose wisely is. Just choose wisely and operate from a place of love. Operate from a place of, someone said it earlier, a place of unconditional love, right? Operate and give, but you got to give yourself that. You got to give yourself grace. You got to give yourself unconditional love. You can't give anyone you can't give anyone anything that you're not giving yourself first. So, and when you do, you will realize that there's a place of peace. Because God said there's a place inside of you that no one can fill it but Him. And that place of peace is harmony. That harmony is your masculine and your feminine energy. Hold on, y'all. That harmony is your masculine and feminine energy operating together. So we're gonna slide these out of the way. And you gotta know that. I wanna know what color. Hold on, y'all. I wanna know what color this is, because I can't tell. Alright, so I'm gonna go with the crown chakra. What color does it look, y'all? I feel like that's purple. Is that purple? I feel like that's purple. I feel like that's the crown chakra. That bluish purple. I don't know. That's the only thing about this deck. So yeah, we can go with crown chakra. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because he's at the top of the mountain blowing the trumpets, right? Crown chakra. So what I was talking about was harmony. Harmonizing your masculine and your feminine side. I did that. She said, I did that. I spoke, I moved. Everything turns in faith and flow. That's how I move, right? Manifested everything, every move. Manifested every move. I did that. Sorry, that's shaking me. But once you start operating in a place of flow within self, you are transforming your life. That's when you know your transformation. Once you in flow. So I'm gonna talk about me, right? How do I know I was in flow? So I use my sexuality a lot as a place. So I tell clients our body's like a wheelbarrow, right? Every lie you tell, you fill it up with coal, right? The wheelbarrow is supposed to be 70% water. The wheelbarrow is supposed to be filled up with water. But every lie you tell yourself, every time you betray yourself, every time you're not living your truth, and you go against what your alignment is for your purpose for God that God has for your life, you're living in a state of cold, and it hardens your heart. And I feel like that's what choose wisely. Because choose wisely, I remember the moment I betrayed my heart, and I made a decision that went against my heart, and my soul left my body as a child. So when I did that, every decision after that caused me to get to a point that I got to a point where it destroyed my life in the long run. And now I'm sitting here trying to put the pieces back together and rebuild. So prosperity begins. I feel like that is the card coming out, letting us know that if you on this channel, you watching this, you will be in a place of prosperity. This is a time of prosperity. This is a time of you have attracted, you have done the work to attract this timeline, but now it's time to go even further, dig even deeper, right? That's where that hope comes in. That's where that faith comes in. That's where you got to dig even deeper. You got to do this mirror work, right? You got to do the mirror work. Check out my YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube. So if you see this video, go check out my YouTube shorts, and you'll see a video of me posting where I'm doing my mirror work. And the mirror work is ugly. The mirror work, you're going to cry. The mirror work is a self-reflection like, damn, I was the one that broke my heart. And it's going to make you cry. It's really going to make you self-reflect. You're going to be like, damn, I was the one that broke my heart. I was the one that betrayed myself. I was the one that allowed my life to get like this. I allowed my life to get this bad. Because nobody can fix your life but you, right? And it said, flip this deck, boom. Mental conflict. So in transformation, you're going to experience mental conflict. You're going to experience your body, your mind, soul. Your body is going to fight like hell to stay the same. See, Les Brown explains to us that people prefer known hells opposed to unknown heavens, right? And in that, he's saying that people prefer to stay in a place of comfort, even though it's traumatic and traumatizing or detrimental to their health or detrimental to the person that they are or detrimental to their situation as a whole. But they prefer that because that's comfortable. That's what they know, opposed to stepping into the unknown because the unknown is comfortable, even though the unknown can be a healing place, right? So when I first started talking about my sexuality, when I first started talking about, healing and just stepping out in faith and just talking and having that conversation, my heart was feeling light. It was feeling like things were lifted outside of me. It was extremely uncomfortable because my chest was used to that pressure, that tightness. I walked into my mom's house one day. She said hello. My chest got tight. My ears got hot. I instantaneously had an attitude. Well, that let me know, you gotta go heal, bro. You gotta go heal. That's on you. That's not on her. So we're gonna pull some ISIS right fast. Let's say grab this deck. Y'all calling some energies out today. Y'all calling some energies. So when you healing, you're going to feel conflicted. You're going to feel confused. Your body is going to try to stay the same. Your body is going to try to say no. Your brain is going to say. That's why it's the mental conflict. You gotta, the hope. You gotta have hope. So Lisa Nichols explains. Hold on, y'all. My bad. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Lisa Nichols explains that. And check these people out. If you don't believe me, Lisa Nichols explains that. Shout out to Lisa Nichols and Les Brown. That your mind is designed to protect you. Your brain is designed to protect you. Your human spiritual soul is designed to say, "What's my command for tomorrow?" Right? It's designed to soar. Right? It just wants to know what's next. Hope is next. Don't give up hope, y'all. We're gonna chuckle back here, man. That was 3. You know I like the jam. You gotta win. So this is me. I'm playing this music. It's called I Am Power. Check it out on YouTube. Who was it by? I Am Power, Divine Feminine Energy, and Manifestation Music, right? And I'm playing that because you gotta reprogram yourself. It's not what it said. It said go like this. It's my groom in that deck. Magic and ritual. Magic and ritual. And darkness. Now we're gonna read from this book. I'm still learning this deck. But look at her. Wings spread open. Magic and ritual, crafting sacred practice. You gotta know that you're magic. You gotta know. You gotta know that. So you gotta know that you hold the magic to recreate and redesign your life. You are the magic. And don't get spooked out by the words that I'm using. Magic, manifestation, things like that. They just words. Words have power, right? So whatever we speak into our life comes into existence. And what does it say? As our God says, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. So mental conflict is you're going to experience things. You're going to see some things. As you transform your life, you're going to see literally hell. You're going to see your version of what hell looks like. But keep going. Keep pushing through. Keep pushing through. Because heaven is on the other side of that. Keep pushing through. And we're going to get into the book. What's the book talking about? What's the book talking about? Shout out to the motherfuckers, which is Mother's Day. 102. Alright. Black magic. Crafting sacred practice. Effect in the external world can be created through inner practice. What we talking about? Listen, they don't be off. The cards don't be off, baby. We talking about healing internally. We talking about transforming from internal to external. We talking about transforming from inside out. So effect in the external world can be created through inner practice. Magic and ritual can support your divine path, and now the physical world and you are encouraged to enhance your power with regular practice. Okay, so what does regular practice look like? That's that mirror work. That's that writing them affirmations. That's that positive speaking. That's that program. That's that reprogramming yourself I was talking about. That's that regular practice. That's that ritual, right? Create a ritual for yourself. I don't know if you'll check out Jennifer Lewis's morning ritual. Shout out to Jennifer Lewis. Okay. The results that you experience will encourage you to continue with the practice as you grow in power, grace, love, ability, and wisdom, and apply your inner beauty to transform your outer world. Damn, baby, the cards aren't all. They ain't never all. They don't be all. They don't be all. And look what this says. Look what this says. Look. And this card is laying right here. Look, y'all. This card is laying right there at hope. And look. This says the dark mysteries. That was laying right here next to the mental conflict, right? Well, we're underneath mental conflict. So you're going to feel conflicted. I'm telling you, in this healing process, you're going to feel conflicted. You're going to go through hell. But you got to go through hell to get to heaven. Again, remember the scripture. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Remember, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay? Two things about the truth. One, the truth hurts. The truth hurts. Finding out the truth about yourself, finding out that you're the one that broke your heart, the truth hurts, right? But also the truth will set you free. I have never felt more free. If I die today or tomorrow, I know they say die with no regrets. I'm getting close to that, right? But I will say the one thing I am proud of myself for, the one thing I am happy about is because I've come back to self. I love myself today. I couldn't say that a couple years ago. I couldn't say that I had this level of self-love that I do today. So now we're going to read right fast the dark mysteries. Empower yet refined. Empower yet refined. 194. So I just want y'all to know, like, I'm not sitting here just trying to feed y'all some BS. Like, no, this is real. Like, this is real. So 194. So whatever, and reuse the words for whatever the guide to your understanding, right? Because people use specific words, but whatever God you understand, and whatever higher power you believe in, use them and use that as a way for guidance and programming for yourself, right? The dark goddess calls you. Now, when they say dark goddess, we're not talking about some evil crap. We're not talking about Satan. I don't believe in none of that. We're not talking in that context. We're not talking about that. I'm not doing witchcraft. I'm not doing none of that. Okay, so let's be clear about that. The dark goddess calls you now into her inner chamber where she holds a test and a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. What are you afraid of? What has been holding you back? All right, so a fear of mine that I was afraid to talk about my sexuality. I was afraid to live in my truth. I was afraid to be honest with myself about who I was, right? So the gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. In all its forms. Will you accept her call, or will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. So when they say deeper initiation, that means deeper healing, deeper wisdom, deeper initiation into self. So don't get the words and get spooked out. I mean, not how to say if you want this timeline, you're going to understand it in a way where you hear, where you get it. But just for those who don't, just for those who are spooked out by tarot cards or spooked out or think they're the devil, right? My intentions are pure. My intentions are not of the devil. My intentions are not of Satan. I'm not a Satan worshiper. I don't know. My intentions are pure love, unconditional love, right? So when I say that, and again, like I said, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you got to go into the deepest parts of yourself. So earlier, the shadow card, when I was pulling this deck, the first deck that I pulled from, the shadow card came out. You got to look in that mirror and look into the deepest, darkest parts of yourself and say, hey, self, where are we fucked up at? Where do we have gaps and holes at? Where do we need to heal at? And how can we best heal? Call on your future self. Call on your higher power. Call on the God of you that you believe in, the God to your understanding. And when you do, you'll be surprised. You're going to cry. You're going to be confused. Some days you're going to be bored. Some days you're going to want to give up. But you got to push through. And you're going to, when you write letters to yourself, write letters, it's going to be a grieving process. You're going to grieve the old you. Again, if you struggle with addiction Write a breakup letter to your addiction. Write a breakup letter to your drug of choice, right? I've done all these things. There's nothing that I'm telling you to do that I haven't done. I started my book. Actually, I need to probably go type some more up. At least write it down to get it out. But you gotta start getting it out. You gotta start putting the stuff on paper. Even if there's things that you don't want to share, you gotta at least share it with yourself in this reality. Get it out of your body. And once you can share it and burn it. You can share it, rip it up, and bury it. You can share it, rip it up, and throw it in the trash. But whatever you gotta do. And when you do those things, right? When you do those things, ask for that stuff to be released from you in spirit and in flesh. And then when you also do that, ask for it to be transmuted, transcended, and transformed for your highest good. So now, that doesn't mean every day from here on out is going to be peaches and cream. What it does mean, though, is that you'll be transmuted, transformed, and transcended for your highest good. What does that look like? So disruption follows intention. That's another thing that came out earlier on the deck in the other reading. Disruption card. So that means your life is going. The example I gave earlier was when you clean out a closet. Let's say you clean out your whole closet, right? You have a vision of what you want the closet to look like. Let's say you got a vision of what you want the closet to look like. You're going to pull everything out the closet first. You're going to pull all the junk. You're going to pull all the stuff. You're going to get dusty. You might see some bugs. All the stuff is in your hallway now laid out. There are going to be some things you're going to throw in the trash. There are going to be some things you want to give away, maybe to Goodwill or somewhere. And then there are going to be some things you might want to keep. So you separate them into piles. You put the stuff back you want to keep. You bag up what you want to give away. And you throw it in the trash what you want to throw in the trash. And hopefully maybe the next day or two, you'll give away what you want to give away. If you didn't do it that day, you trash what you want to trash. And you keep what you want to keep. And then you have space to pack new stuff in that closet if you choose to do so. But there comes a point where you have reached max capacity. If you don't clean that closet out, if you don't dig that clutter out, you are going to overflow and you are going to explode. And it's going to continue to implode. You're going to implode in yourself. That's why, you're going to have you're going to continue to have an unhealthy relationship with self. And that's going to be a direct reflection of every relationship you have in all other areas of your life. Trust me, it has caused me some turmoil in my life, right? So now I'm trying to put myself back together so I haven't damaged any relationship too much and too bad. And for those that I have, I gotta eat that because I was the one that fucked up. So that's what we got out here. But just know that when you get into self, prosperity begins, right? That's the root chakra. That's where it starts. It starts at the root. You got to get to the root. And you see in the middle of the root, that's the green. That represents the heart. That's where you start at. Start at your heart. Reflect. Again, the second card out was choose wisely. That's the green. Again, we at the heart. Choose wisely. Choose from your heart. What's your heart telling you to do? What's spirit telling you to do? Right? So spirit said I came out here. Spirit said I chose from the heart. I was like, all right. I did a reading. I went live earlier. The spirit said, okay, now you went live, but you got other platforms you got to talk about this on. You got other platforms you got to speak on. So you need to get back out here. You need to do it again. Cool. Okay, hope. Faith for the substance of things, hope for evidence of things not seen. And when you do so, God get the glory. You will shine. You'll shine. If you on this timeline, you meant to be a star in your own right, in your own light, in your own way. You know what I'm saying? Vibration frequency is real. And when you do so, just know, when you're doing this healing work, the black boy in you be protected, okay? And align your masculine and your feminine energy. Align with the divine power. You male or female, align with your divine self, okay? Again, you'll be protected. Here we go again. That crown chakra, right? Talk to your higher power. Talk to your future self. Talk to yourself. I've done that stuff. You're not crazy. Hey, I haven't met you yet. I need to meet you. Say those things, right? Mental conflict. Understand that when you do so, your brain, your body, your past is going to fight like hell to stay the same. You're going to feel conflicted. You're going to feel confused. But that's when you reach out to professional help. You seek counsel. If you need to go to therapy, if you need to see a psychiatrist, if you need to get on medication, take the medication. I'm not pushing medication, but if you need it, take it, right? But make sure you ask some questions. Make sure you're getting the right advice. Make sure you're seeking the right counsel. I'm also a certified Reiki practitioner. Again, I do energy work and I do energy healing. Tap in, ask questions, see what it's about. I will go into detail later on about what that is. But I've been certified. I've been doing it for, I don't know, I've been doing it for at least the last 7 years. But I've been certified for maybe 5 years. So it's definitely something that's helped save my life. Again, remember, you are the magic. You see, your, as an ant is crawling across my screen. Why? Remember, your spirit is designed to make you soar. Your brain is designed to protect you. So it's about aligning your mind, your body, and your soul and your spirit, and getting in harmony with self. Into that dark chamber. It's not dark chamber of the devil. It's not the dark chamber. It's the dark chamber of self. We're getting into the dark chamber of self. And once you do so, you'll be surprised. Walk through the valley of the shadow of yourself, of the death of your old self, old actions, old patterns, old behaviors, old thought process, right? We're gonna reiterate, do that mirror work, get in alignment, look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Mary J. Blige said she had to get in the mirror. If Mary J. Blige, as successful as she is, had to get in the mirror, that's why she made Good Morning Gorgeous. Check it out. Check out the Good Morning Gorgeous interlude, and check out and play that song. And reprogram yourself. You're gonna have to listen to the same song, listen to the same music, listen to the same affirmations, write them every day. You're gonna have to write them every day for a while. It's gonna take some time. It's not gonna happen overnight, but it's something that's very doable. Okay, so thank you for staying with me for Transformation Tuesdays. You made it this far. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the YouTube. Check out the Twitter. What else I got? I got YouTube, Twitter right now. Not Twitter. I'm hollering. Don't check out my Twitter. I meant to say TikTok. Do not check out my Twitter. That's a whole other ballgame. But check out the TikTok. Check out the YouTube. Twitter, I was living a different life. Check out the YouTube. Check out the TikTok. Instagram. I mean, you can check it out, but I don't have this kind of stuff on Instagram right now. And don't let nobody discourage you, right? On your path, you're going to have people try to discourage you or they have a vision for your life, right? The loved ones, they mean well. Don't hold it against them. Don't charge it to